Hey guys, Brian Grossman here with Hunt the South with the proposed 2023-2024 Georgia deer season dates. Now, some of you may be aware that the DNR has been hosting public input meetings to get input on their proposed changes for the next 2 years of hunting regulations. And surprisingly, there's really not a lot of changes in store for the deer seasons, at least not for most of the state. Now, there are some changes in store for 8 southwestern counties, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But I really thought we'd see some more significant changes with the DNR finally gaining control over deer bag limits. For years, that was controlled by the legislature. Last year, the DNR finally got authority over those deer bag limits. So I thought we might see the DNR kind of start to get away from these doe days and instead reduce the overall doe bag limit. But that's not the case, at least not for the next 2 years. For most of us, unless you live in those 8 counties in the southwestern part of the state that we'll talk about here in just a minute, you're not going to see any changes for the upcoming deer season. Bag limits will be the same, and the deer season dates will be the same as well, other than just their usual shift, so they hit on their respective Saturdays or closing on the Sunday, that kind of thing. So we'll take a look right now at the deer season dates, the proposed deer season dates for the 2023-2024 deer season. What that's going to look like on your calendar is the archery deer season will open on Saturday, September 9th, and run through Sunday, January 14th. Obviously, in those extended archery counties, it'll still continue on until January 31st. Primitive weapons season will open Saturday, October 14th, and run through Friday, October 20th. And then firearms deer season will come in October 21st, Saturday, October 21st, and run through Sunday, January 14th. And that might seem a little late. That's the latest it could possibly fall, because by regulation, it runs to the second Sunday in January. So the January 14th is as late as you're ever going to see it for most of the counties in the state. Now, for the 8 southwestern counties, and those include Baker, Decatur, Early, Grady, Miller, Mitchell, Seminole, and Thomas, the season's going to look a little different this year, different than it ever has. Archery deer season will still open Saturday, September 9th, but it'll run through January 31st. So it's kind of the same as the extended archery counties, but for these 8 southwestern counties. And that's due to the later rutting activity that the DNR has seen in those counties. Now, one big difference is the first 2 weeks of archery season will be buck only in those 8 counties. And that's because they're giving those does a chance to finish weaning off their fawns before you start shooting them with archery equipment. The breeding dates are a little later in those 8 counties. That means fawns are dropping later in those 8 counties, so they're weaning later. And so the first 2 weeks of the archery season will be buck only in those 8 southwestern counties. Primitive weapons season will be the same as the rest of the state, that October 14th through the 20th. And then the firearms deer season will start the same on Saturday, October 21st, but it'll extend or continue on until January 15th. And now that's just doesn't sound like much of an extension. That's just one extra day for 2023. But even when the season closes earlier, like it did last year on January 8th, that second Sunday of the month, in those 8 counties, it'll continue on until January 15th. So it's a set date rather than being the second Sunday in January. One other proposed change for the 2023 deer season is Richmond County will be added to the extended archery zone. So Richmond County bow hunters are going to get some extra couple weeks there of bow hunting. And then I don't have any data yet for the WMA dates. Those will not be revealed until I think March is when it said. So that's still up in the air. I'm sure you're going to see some tweaks on those. Hopefully we'll see some extra archery dates on some of these larger WMAs, but that's yet to be seen. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, not a whole lot of changes for most of us. We're going to see it's going to be business as usual. But if you live in one of those 8 southwestern counties, you're going to have a little more time to bow hunt. One extra day to gun hunt this year, but in the future that could be up to a week that you'll have extra to firearms hunt. Yeah, so that's kind of what's in store. Bag limits are the same, no changes on those. Again, keep in mind this is proposed deer season dates and regulations that could change. They're going to have these public input meetings. Then the board has to go over all that. They'll get more public comments in April, and then the final decision, the board will make the final recommendations in May. Not too likely that any of this will change, but you never know. I guess if there's enough public outcry, it certainly could. You have until, I think, February 16th to get your comments in. You can go up to the DNR's website and do that if you can't attend one of the meetings. And if you don't make your voice heard, you don't have any reason to complain. So, hey guys, if you already haven't, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll never miss another one of our videos. And with that, we'll sign off on this one, guys. As always, hunt safe, shoot straight, and most importantly, hey, just enjoy your time out there in God's great outdoors. We'll see you on the next video.